Good morning, everyone, and greetings to a delightful audience. I'm Rich Kathuria, and I'm the host of your session today. And I am a marketing lead with Tata Consultancy Services, and I work for the Analytics and Insights unit. The city of Pune has witnessed tremendous growth, and today is the eighth largest city in India. It is one of the fastest growing in the country, but it has struggled with managing waste over the years. And Pune, being a smart city, aims to keep the city clean and pollution free by managing its waste and waste disposable process in an environmentally friendly manner. However, the growing expansion of waste generation, irresponsible dumping, and burning have become a major concern in Pune. In June 2021, Tata Consultancy Services made an announcement to achieve net carbon neutrality by 2030. Leading by example, Tata Consultancy Services in Pune plans to encourage an whole ecosystem to move into this direction and become future ready. TCS Sustainathon Pune 2021 is a concrete step in this direction towards solving the city's waste problems. We look forward to young and energetic participants like yourself. Participate in this event and combat this growing waste problem and drive the carbon neutrality agenda for this city. Before we move on, I just want the participants to know that you are all muted, but after few moments, you will be able to start chatting your questions in the chat. So do keep them coming. We have an interesting session planned for you today, and I'm going to get my co-host Pooja Soni, who's very camera shy and may not come on camera, to take over from here. Pooja has been with Tata Consultancy Services for 7 years and is currently working in the field of sustainability. Over to you, Pooja.
Thank you, Bridge. I welcome all the participants again in the very first TCS Sustainathon Pune webinar. It's amazing to see you all turn up in good numbers for this session. Now, let me briefly review today's agenda. The first item on our list is TCS Sustainathon Overview, which will be presented by Jagdish Chaudhary. And then we will move on to the timelines, rounds, and prizes. Exciting, right? All right, and then we will have a brief overview of the challenge statements. I hope by now you have already seen the challenge that you have applied and gone through the challenge statement on the portal. And Jagdish will again take you through the challenges, and I will take you through the next steps on the Sustainathon portal in order to submit your proposals. And then we will go through the submission rules and guidelines. And at around 9:30 in next 30 minutes, we will be starting with the question answer round, which will be moderated by Bridge and Tushar from TCS. And then there will be a closing note. So please stay with us uh, throughout the session, and we will address your queries when the question answer round will begin, as Bridge mentioned, in next 20 minutes. And now we move on to the TCS Sustainathon overview, which will be presented by Jagdish Chaudhary. So Jagdish has around 35 years of industry experience and has been with TCS for last 24 years. He works in analytics and insight service unit of TCS and drives several strategic CSR and sustainability initiatives. He is currently the vice chair of IEEE Pune section and chair of special interest group for affordable agriculture. He is also the program manager for TCS Sustainathon Pune edition. With this, I hand it over to you, Jagdish. Over to you.
Thank you, Pooja. Good morning, everyone, and happy to see you participate in large numbers. Thank you for that. I'll give you a quick overview of TCS Sustainathon. So TCS Sustainathon is an initiative of TCS Research and Innovation Unit. The inaugural edition was launched in 2020 last year in Singapore. The theme at that time was how to reduce food wastage, and the challenge partners they had were Sodexo, Singapore Airlines, and PayM. So it was a big success, and we made a pitch for doing it in Pune, and the second edition is happening in Pune. It was inaugurated on 15th August formally, and now we are, as you are all aware, into the registration phase. Let me give you a little background. Uh, See, basically the whole idea is to sort of do crowdsourcing of ideas. So it's essentially an ideathon. And TCS, as you know, is a leader in technology. And we would like to use our core competency for the benefit of the community. So this is in sort of line with the larger Tata Group philosophy, which contributes a lot to the society, as you all might be aware. In fact, in the inaugural event, the chief guest and eminent scientist, Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, he sort of applauded TCS by mentioning that TCS stands for total commitment to society. So basically, we would like to see, as Bridge mentioned, we are targeting to become carbon neutral by 2030, and we want our entire ecosystem to move in this direction along with us, and we want to support the ecosystem. And TCS Sustainathon is the first step in this direction. So basically, see, there are a lot of there are multiple sustainable development goals of the United Nations. We want to sort of help align those goals in terms of our requirements, local requirements. And see, this entire initiative of sustainability is going to largely sort of focus on the younger generation. They are the ones who are going to sort of be most impacted by the climate change and all these challenges which we are currently experiencing. So involvement of youth is a key dimension of this entire initiative, and Sustainathon hence is focusing on the student community. It's a student edition, and we would like large participation of students. In fact, we have not kept any restriction in this. Students from all disciplines are welcome to participate. And to support this entire thing, we have a very strong partner ecosystem. We have Pune International Center, we have Pune Knowledge Cluster, IEEE Pune section, and we also have challenge partners like Pune Municipal Corporation, the Swachh NGO, and other Poonawalla Clean City initiatives. So all these are major players in waste management in Pune city, and they are all with us. So this is sort of a very sort of a comprehensive sort of partner ecosystem which we have managed to put together, and we are looking forward to a great initiative and collation of excellent ideas from all of you. Next slide, Pooja. So coming to the timelines. See, we launched the initiative on 29th August. It was Tata Sustainability Month in June, and we decided to do a soft launch. So basically on the social media, we sort of started promoting the event. On 15th August, as I mentioned, it was launched at the hands of Dr. Mashelkar. Then the registration phase has started, and we have extended the timeline up to 7th of September. So the registration involves registering your individual names and applying as a team for a given challenge. So all of you have done that, and that's why you are here in the webinar. So now the next phase is which is starting today, and will be on till 20th September is the submission round. where you have to submit your ideas, and more details about this, how to submit, etc., will be shared with you by Pooja Soni. So 20th September, this will get over, and after that, the evaluation phase will start, and then we will do the finale on 23rd of October. So it is a carefully chosen date. It falls between Dasera and Diwali, so it doesn't clash with any festivals, and hopefully it works well for all of you. Next slide, Pooja. Now the evaluation process. So once all the submissions are received, so we will be getting all the ideas from all of you, and there will be initial screening of all these ideas. So we will sort of do the evaluation and do the shortlisting. Output of this entire shortlisting exercise will be 100 ideas and 50 posters. So by the way, the posters are for the school children, so we are not talking much about it in this session. We are doing a separate webinar for the school children. So these 100 ideas would go through an offline evaluation by a team of experts, and they would shortlist 24 ideas and provide them detailed feedback regarding how they could refine and enhance the impact of their ideas, etc. So with these 24 ideas, once they are sort of finalized, then there will be a interactive evaluation of these. There will be a presentation, and we would finalize, shortlist 6 ideas for the finale. And once these are shortlisted, the 6 ideas, they will go through a round of mentoring. So basically, this will help you to sort of look good in the finale, in terms of your presentation abilities, in terms of your articulation, and even in terms of the aesthetics of your presentations. And after that, on 23rd October, there will be a virtual presentation which you will have to make to a eminent jury. So we have a very high profile 4-member jury who will look at these 6 ideas in the finale, and after that we would announce the winners and the runners. Next slide, Pooja. So the overall cash prize is worth 5 lakh rupees. So some of the ones are meant for the winners and runners, and then we are also keeping a lot of special prizes for different mentions for maximum participation, etc. And anything worth special mention would be identified. So for the UG/PG section, the winning team will get 1 lakh rupees. The runners-up team will get 75,000 rupees. The second runner-up will get 25,000 rupees. And we have kept 3 consolation prizes. So all the 3 these teams will get 10,000 rupees each. So all the 6 teams will get something on the day of finale. So that we have sort of ensured. And we will specially recognize the institute which has maximum participation. So a special prize of 20,000 and a souvenir will be given to that institute. This is an ongoing initiative. It is not just a standalone thing that no, we will do the Sustainathon and leave it there. We are going to continue sustainability and work for the city of Pune and with the students of Pune and youth of Pune to sort of take the agenda of carbon neutral forward. As I mentioned, this is a foundational work in this direction. So we will, for the winners and some of the deserving ideas, we will also open up some incubation opportunities. So for that, we have partners like Pune Knowledge Cluster, then Digital Impact Square Nasik, which is a venture of TCS Foundation. We also have partnered with SPPU Research Park. So they will also support, provide incubation support. So these ideas can be converted into even commercial products for those who are interested. We will give a certificate of participation to all shortlisted ideas. And see, this is a great opportunity for you to connect and interact with industry leaders and subject matter experts. So please make the most out of it. Yeah. So coming to the actual challenges. So we have three challenges, as you are all aware. One is the zero waste community. Second is waste to wealth. And the third is empower the waste handlers. So the one line sort of a definition of this first one challenge is how to create a zero or minimal waste generating home, locality or housing society. The second one is uh, what could be the avenues of generating wealth from waste. And third one is how to support and enable the waste handling function. Uh, so this is, if you look at it as a space of waste management, we have tried to cover the entire gamut of things. One is at the source, where the community which is generating the uh, waste at that level, we look at how things can be improved. Then there is this entire processing space, and there we want to encourage people to look at uh, it being a resource rather than something of a problem. So waste can be considered as a resource and it can be transformed into something more useful. And that is what the second challenge expects. And then there are a lot of people involved in waste management. So we want to also improve their lot, support them, enable them, acknowledge and appreciate them. So we have to see how technology can enable them, ideas, out of the box ideas can enable and support them. So this is the whole thought process of these three challenges. See, there are, if you notice in this challenge statements, there are some sub themes. So I'll quickly go through the sub themes before I hand it over to Pooja. So in the zero waste community, you can look at a few things. Like these are just suggestions, by the way. You are free to uh, look at your own sub theme as far as it aligns with the main theme. This is just to sort of give you some triggers. One is the processing wet waste at source. So wet waste is a big hindrance in terms of processing waste. Then how do you effectively segregate at source? Then another big area of challenge is the sanitary waste. The sanitary waste, if you burn it, creates uh, carcinogenic emissions which can lead to cancer. And it is important that that is segregated effectively and processed in a specialized manner. Then the low grade plastic, if it gets mixed with the wet waste, it becomes extremely cumbersome to handle that. And it is causing a lot of problems to the aquatic and marine life. The next one is industry waste processing. So industry also generates a lot of waste. So all these can be looked at as sub themes. For waste to wealth, there are sub themes like generating mindset to respect waste and treat it as a resource and income generator. So it can be a big income generator. Then creating a plastic free society. Upcycling of waste. Upcycling of waste means creating something more valuable than it is today. Then making waste management sustainable and eco-friendly. So see, now when you are generating ideas, please bear in mind that this criteria you should look at it, that it is your idea is sustainable and eco-friendly. So you don't want to solve one problem and create another set of problems. So that you have to bear in mind while you're recommending ideas. Then ideas for significant wealth generation from wet waste. So wet waste is also a big source of wealth creation. Convert waste generated by online delivery mechanism. So we want to draw attention to this. This online culture has come in our society in online delivery. So how do we sort of effectively convert it into wealth? better awareness and management of waste supply chains, decentralized recycling and processing. So the centralized thing leads to a lot of transportation of waste. So can we look at decentralized at a locality level? Can the waste be processed? Then effective and scientific management of e-waste. So these are certain sub themes you can look at. Uh, the next one is empowering the waste handlers. So how can we create tools to make the work more convenient, easy, and efficient and effective? See, this is not a desirable profession for anybody. Nobody would willingly want to work in this area. People work here out of their uh, need for survival, and hence they are doing this. So we should look at empowering them, making their life easy. How to incentivize, second is creating opportunities for them, incentivize them by creating additional income opportunities through public private partnership. So it could be sort of an enterprise which they do. So if they collect plastic, they convert it, reprocess it, and recycle it. So these things are very much possible, and we can empower them, allow them to grow uh, while working in this space. Then also we have to look at their conceptualize and set up safe and hygienic workspaces. So they, while these people are doing some sorting, etc., how can it be more safe and hygienic? Then create entrepreneurial opportunities in this space, and how to keep up their morale. So as we discussed, so it is a challenging area to work in, and people tend to lose their morale doing this day after day. So how to improve their morale? So any mechanisms, ideas around that are also welcome. So with this, I've completed all the three challenges and the sub themes as well. Now let me hand it over to Pooja.
Thank you, Jagdish. So I will quickly go through the website and the portal and what the participants need to do. So I hope by now you have all have gone thoroughly through our website, and let me just quickly navigate you all on the website. Yeah, Jagdish, I hope my website, my web page is visible.
Yeah,
Number
yeah,
one.
it is visible. Yeah.
Thank you. And so by now you all have must have clicked on the participate button and filled up your form, registration form details, and gone through the portal. So I'll just quickly mention over here that there is an FAQ document that is mentioned over here which says click here. Do not go over here. This has just few questions, but the one that is present on the left hand side, it has a detailed version of all the question and answers that you may have by now. And as we mentioned that the deadline for submission has been extended to 20th of September. So you have around 18 days to make an amazing presentation and your idea proposal and submit it to us. And over here, if you click on this link, then you will have a lot of YouTube videos, which we have created specially for TCS Sustainathon. And today's recording will also be uploaded on this particular YouTube playlist. So it is an IEEE Pune sections YouTube channel where we are uploading our Sustainathon videos. Please go through it through all the videos for more information. And also you can cascade this link to your team partners, to your team members. All right. So once you had clicked on that participate tab, you must have gone through this registration form and you must have filled your details. And now you are able to log in on this portal. So this is the page that you are able to see, and the challenge that you have applied to will be shown as applied, and then a submit button will be visible now. So I just want to mention that the UG students, have the opportunity to apply for three challenges. So if you do not be under the impression that you can only apply for one challenge, so please feel free to go and apply for as many challenge, which you are comfortable with and you're confident enough that you can come up with a great solution. All right. So I'll just quickly mention that over here you must have mentioned your team details. All right. And I hope the email ID that you had submitted over here was correct, because there is no way that this portal can tell that if your email ID was a correct one, authentic or not. So if you have put in incorrect details, please let us know. I'll just quickly let you know that what happens when you click on the submit button, which is now visible on your screen. So it will take you through the applied challenge, the challenge that you have applied, and the details that Jagdish was mentioning is present over here. So each set of challenge has a unique sub themes and the and the problems. Please go through this. And over here you can see the submission guidelines. And if you click on this guideline, you will be navigated on this PDF. All right. So in this PDF, we have tried to detail all the items that all the pitching points that you need to mention in your idea proposal. And please go through the instructions carefully that is mentioned over here. And I'll also take you through the instructions in the next slide. And these are some of the elements that will strengthen your pitch. That is, you have to give your title to your presentation, your team details, challenge that you have opted for and why, and what and the research data behind it, the market study, etc. Your idea and the value proposition, the technology component, the impact and value, and the references. So just go through these detailed pitching points that are mentioned, that what needs to be in the challenge that you have accepted, how big is the challenge, and how it can be, how does it impact, and how your idea can solve the problem. So just one point to note is that the questions and the points that we have mentioned over here, you do not have to cover all of them. It's completely up to you. So we have just given these points as a reference, and as an idea to what your proposal needs to look like, but you're free to use your own elements and your own way of presentation, uh, and the components. Just ensure that you at least cover the main points, that is the idea, value and impact, and research and idea. All right. And how you mix and match, that is completely up to you. And there is no limitation to the number of presentations, the number of slides that you need to prepare. But we would encourage that you do not exceed 35 slides, more than 35 slides, because it will be too difficult for us to go through it. And kindly ensure that you reference your ideas, your research data as well. And just one point to mention that from tomorrow onwards, that is 3rd of September, a submit button will be enabled over here, right over here below the challenge statement. When you click on that submit button, you will then be able to submit your idea proposal. All right. So now I will just quickly go through this slide. Yes. So the submission guideline says that your idea should be cost effective, inclusive, scalable, feasible, and resource optimal and friendly. And your idea should be unique and not presented in any earlier event. So do not give an idea that you have already shared to the previous organizers before in any of the events. And your submission should be in the form of PPT, that is MS PowerPoint, which is preferred. But still, if you do not have a licensed version of MS Office, you are free to create the Google Docs and etc. And you just have to convert it into a PDF and ensure that it is less than 50 MB while you submit. And no other format apart from the PPT and PDF will be accepted. Whatever you need to mention, suppose you want to mention a video of a prototype, etc. You need to put those elements in your presentation itself. And you can have a prototype, however, it's not mandatory. And the shortlisted team will be notified after 25th of September through their registered email ID. You can apply for more than one challenge. However, to apply, you are only left with 5 days. So the best practice is that you must have by now gone through the judging criteria, which is innovation and creativity, impact and relevance, feasibility and sustainable, the depth of your solution, technology, and presentation. The technology part, again, we have mentioned clearly, if somebody is not from a technical background, please go through our FAQ document. We have mentioned what you need to do. The technology is not a mandatory thing, but however, you can, in whichever stream you are, and you can be free to use your knowledge and convert it into a technological component of it. And please avoid the plagiarism trap. Do not copy paste the references. Try to paraphrase your content in your own style. Cite your sources and maintain the record of the sources. And please use plagiarism checkers before submitting your presentation. All right. So now it's time for the question answer round. I know you have a lot of queries by now. And with this, I hand it over to you, Bridge. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pooja. That was really nicely covered by both you and Jagdish. So thanks for that. And the chat has been open for a while, so we've been getting a lot of questions. I'm just trying to see if there's a pattern in those questions. But before that, let me just step back for a moment and introduce Tushar. Okay, Tushar is going to help us with moderating the Q&A round, and Tushar Kulkarni is going to. He's been our senior manager with TCS, and he's been with us for 24 years. Currently, he's working for the Banking and Financial Services and Insurance Unit, BFSI, as a client partner, and he's based out of Pune. And he's also a part of our TCS Sustainathon organizing team. So over to you, Tushar, and I will occasionally step in and help you in case I can bundle the questions together. But one advice I have for the audience is, so that we do justice to all the questions, is if you like someone else's question, okay, just say, my question is same as so and so. So let's say, like Srilekha here has asked a question, should the idea be explained with 100% implementation, or should we just explain the idea? So just say my question is same as Srilekha, or my question is same as Jayesh or Ankusha, whatever. Okay, so that this way we can just optimize this whole process. So over to you, Tushar.
Thank you, Bridge, and good morning, everyone. So we'll start going through the questions. Okay, so I think the first question is from Tejas. So can we submit the same PPT or by making some minor changes, because our submission would provide solution to more or less all the ideas, all the challenge statements. So I'm not sure, Tejas, how one idea will address so many challenges. I think it's better you segregate or focus on the challenge statement and provide idea accordingly. If it is really matching literally every challenge, you may not need to change anything on your submission. But I will suggest that you relook at your idea, whether it is really addressing all the challenges, whether it is doing justice to all the sub themes, etc. And once you look at it, most probably you will find there are changes required in your idea, some elaborations required in your idea. Make your presentation accordingly and submit it against each and every challenge if you are participating in all the challenges. Okay. Can we have an idea about past winners? I'm not sure what do you mean. From waste management perspective, this is the first Sustainathon which we are conducting in Pune. You will not have anything from waste management perspective, at least from past winners to learn something from. So you are the pioneers. You have to guide others going forward.
Yeah. So in fact, Tushar, I'll just add to what you're saying. This is our second Sustainathon. The first one happened in Singapore, and that was connected with waste management, but it was to do with food waste. So we'll anyway share a link with all of you. You can see that particular Sustainathon. But the solid waste management Sustainathon, this is the first of its kind. So there are so many. Singapore one was specifically on food. But we'll anyway share it with you, so you'll get a sense of the quality of submission and how to angle your pitch. So it's an unlisted link, but we are happy to share it with you. We'll put it in the chat in a few moments from now.
Thanks, Breach. So the next one is from Srilekha. Should the idea be explained with 100% implementation, or explain the idea? So Srilekha, you don't have to actually implement the idea. Of course, if you have implemented bits and pieces somewhere, you can give those references, but you don't have to really prove that it is implemented. Okay, you can, of course, the idea should be practical. So it should be, we should be able to spread the idea and implement it across the city. But you don't need to prove that it is already implemented and it is a working idea.
Yeah, Tushar, can I add to this?
Yes, please, Jagdish.
Yeah, see, this is basically an ideathon. So we are expecting ideas, and implementation is not mandatory. Even a prototype and all is not required at all. So in case you have certain things on implementation, it might give you an edge in terms of the feasibility dimension. So you must have seen the criteria for evaluation. So there's a feasibility dimension. So if you dwell upon the implementation, you might get a little bit of edge, but it is not essential. So this is how I would like to put it. Over to you.
Thanks, Jagdish. So I think, Jayesh, your question, do a technical solution should be a working model, I think is also getting addressed over here. So we'll not get into further details. So from Anushka, my question is for the third challenge. When we say empower the waste handlers, do we mean, sorry.
So Tushar, what I can do is I could start reading the questions while and direct them to various members. Maybe we'll be able to pick up more speed, right? So should
Yeah,
I?
Bridge. Yes, Bridge, that is good, because I just lost that question somehow. I could
Okay,
not.
okay.
Yeah.
Whose question were you reading?
I think Anushka Kulkarni.
Anushka. Okay, so Anushka Kulkarni is asking, hello, my question is that for the third challenge, when we say empower the waste handlers, do we mean the sewage workers who work on it, large scale, or domestic workers who work on small scale, or essentially both? Uh, So that's
Yes.
from Anushka. And then I'll also read the next question from Madhav Avasti, which says, should the idea be concentrated on Pune city or it can be made practical for all parts of India? I'm slightly shortening everyone's question. Uh, and then Vami Krishna asks, consider if an idea is solving all three problems. In that case, which category? This question has been answered before also, but if there's a fresh take on it. And then, so I guess take a shot at these, and of course, the rest of the panelists also feel free to comment on any of those. So over to you.
Yes, thanks, Bridge. So Anushka, I think it is not limited to one type of waste handlers. As you have mentioned, you can address different type of waste handlers like sewage workers or domestic workers or small scale workers, etc. So you can address challenge with respect to all type of workers. But if you are focusing on one type of worker, please mention it in your idea that this is the type of worker we are addressing. Your idea may not address every type of worker, so that's perfectly okay. From Madhav,
Tushar, sorry, just to add on that. See, we have specifically used the word waste handlers and not waste pickers, because no, there are a whole gamut of stakeholders involved in waste management. It could even be a truck driver who is driving the truck every day. So there are so many people involved in this. There are people who do the recycling part. So this could be even businessman people also. So like entrepreneurs who are working there in that space. So anybody in that space whom you want to empower through your ideas can be covered. And as Tushar mentioned, you clearly mention which set you are focusing on.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, just to add to Jagdish, I mean, there are a whole new breed of waste handlers also we are seeing. You know, there are some very cool people in the Himalayan region who sort of combine waste picking with their mountaineering expeditions. I have some friends in the Jim Corbett National Park and others who really made the whole waste warrior scene look really cool. So it could also be that set, but essentially people who are already doing it, how do you also want to keep them motivated and excited and actually make this almost some type of an aspirational role? What do you think, Jagdish?
Yeah, perfectly agree with you, because see, now a lot of young people are coming forward as volunteers, for Swachh Bharat and all. So these are, no, there could be college students. There I have seen so many videos on WhatsApp where college students are cleaning the beaches, etc. So if there are any such people also, they could also be empowered through creating some sort of apps, etc. So a lot of possibilities exist. So it's a completely open
Right,
field,
right.
and you can come up with your ideas. Yeah.
Okay. So any comments on Madhav's question about Pune city versus other parts of India applicability? Tushar?
Yes. Okay, the participants are from Pune, but definitely your idea, since it is a generic problem across India or even across world, your idea could be something which can be implemented across India, right? So there is nothing wrong if it is not Pune specific. But of course, the focus right now from Sustainathon perspective is a Pune's challenge. So if there is a specific challenge in Pune, we are addressing, uh, 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 will definitely prefer that. But some of the ideas could be really generic and which can be implemented across India.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Tushar, can I add something?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes, please.
I just would like to go through this point that is mentioned in our submission guidelines, that your idea should be cost effective, inclusive, and scalable. So I think most of the questions that you have now, that if it should be Pune specific or if it has to be for a specific set of waste handlers. So I think if you go through these couple of the terms that are mentioned, it will help you to understand that what we are exactly looking for. So it does not have to be Pune specific, just that the problem is the Pune specific challenge, Pune specific problem. But that does not mean that your solution should also be only Pune specific. It should be scalable enough that it can be implemented everywhere else where the problem persists. All right. Thank
Correct.
you.
Thank you, Pooja. It's
Thank
a very
you. Thank you,
important point.
Pooja. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'll just read the next few questions, and of course we are getting a little tight on time, but don't worry, we'll have all your questions answered either in this forum or on our website. But let me read a few more questions and see what kind of a pattern we see. A bunch of questions about, can I submit one entry or more than one entry? Uh, there's what should be the format of idea submission? PPT or a report is another question. In the first round, the PPT is submitted as descriptive or only idea statement or short format. Rushabh is asking, is there any limit to the number of PowerPoint slides, which has already been answered, that you can go as long as you want, but again, keep it sensibly readable. Do we compulsorily have to present some technology solution, or we can suggest policy-based ideas? Then there's Prathamesh, who's saying a very important question: is the concept expected to be practical, more viable? Model expected, since more innovative and impactful ideas are not viable instantly, and more practical ideas aren't that revolutionary but significant nonetheless. Yeah, good, interesting question. Um, are we allowed to submit a model app along with the PowerPoint? That's from Tejas again. During the presenting the presentation, is it necessary to speak in English or speak in Hindi? Or I guess you're also asking Marathi maybe. Uh, Ranjan is saying, after making the group, how can we add one more person to my group? Currently, I have only 2 members in my group, including me. Now I want to add one more member. How can I do this? So I think let me pause here and hand it over back to the panel and Tushar. And let's quickly answer these before we move on.
Okay. So Breach, we won't be able to really take literally every question and answer it. So I think I will also start answering some of the questions collectively.
Yeah.
One of the point was around, do we need to create a device, or do we need to submit something specific, right? I think we answered that earlier. You may not actually need to create a device or app or anything like that. Okay, as Pooja also highlighted just a couple of minutes back, we have to ensure that the idea is practical, it's feasible, it can be implemented across the city. Okay, so you have to look at it from that perspective. In this given short period, you may not be able to actually create a device or actually create an app, end-to-end app, and we understand that. Okay, but as long as your idea has the details around what is your thought process, how it will impact or address the challenge, and how it will impact the society, and why it will work. Okay, I think as long as you're addressing those kind of points in your presentation, you need not really worry about creating a device per se. Okay, so I think that should address your challenge. The other point which I saw was around whether we can submit multiple challenges, or whether same solution for all the challenges. I think I have addressed that earlier. We don't think that you will really have one solution which will fit all the challenges. So relook at what you are really trying to submit, whether it really matches with the challenge statement, and accordingly submit it. But at the same time, you can either participate for one challenge, or two challenges, or all three challenges with the same ID. You can at the same time, you can form one team with, say, your friend, one team with your friend, and address challenge number one. Then you can form another team with another friend and address challenge number two. You can form one more team with one more friend or same friends. Okay, and address challenge number three. The only thing is, you cannot address the same challenge through multiple teams. Yeah, I hope that is clear. Bridge, if Bridge, Pooja, if that is not clear, let me know. But that is how you can participate in either one or multiple challenges. Your team size could be 2 to 4. I think that is also highlighted earlier.
Tushar,
Uh,
just like to mention, sorry for interruption. I would just like to mention one point that a few of the participants, what they're doing is, they're applying for same challenge but through multiple teams. Like there is a team A and there's a team B. In team A, there are suppose Tushar, you, me, and Bridge. And in the second team, Tushar, you're again applying for the same challenge, but it is Tushar, you, Jagdish, and Himanshu. So it is not allowed. Only one person can apply for one challenge, either through the same team. Has to be from the same team. You cannot apply through the on the in the same challenge again from a different team. However, you can apply to another challenge either from the same team or different team. I hope that is clear. Okay. Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pooja. And we just want to add something here. See, we are running out of time, and we have this idea shared with you. So pune.sustainathon@tcs.com. So in case your question still remains unanswered in this session, please write to this ID. Share this question on this ID, and also mention your mobile number. So in case need be, if this question or issue is a complex one, we would call you, but we will necessarily not call each and every person. We will mostly communicate over email only. But just in case it is required, have the mobile number there in case you wish to share it, so that no, we could interact and clarify your doubt. But so we don't want to keep any question unanswered. So the channel for that is to write to that ID. Over to you, Tushar.
Yeah. Thank you, Jagdish. Thank you, Pooja. So I will try to speed up myself. I think I have addressed about same login ID question from Harshit. PPTs, yes, it should be in PPT format, but as Pooja a couple of times highlighted, your idea should get explained. So from that perspective, don't limit yourself from number of slides, but at the same time, you have to also understand that if somebody is looking at 150 or 500 slides PPT, it is impractical to judge your idea with so many slides. So you have to, while you are explaining the idea, you have to be concise as well. So try to hit the balance so that your idea gets due review. Uh,
And I think want to add, we discussed this a little bit internally as well, that a PowerPoint, obviously it's a product by Microsoft, which is PPT. And our key idea is actually that you submit slides, okay? If you're using, let's say Google Slides or Keynote or something, just either save it as PowerPoint or save it as PDF, and you can also submit. But the key philosophy here is, we want slides so that they're easier to read and the ideas transition from one place to another. So Tushar, I'll just pick up a little more speed here and read a few more questions. Okay, some of them maybe repeats also. So Pradnya Rajdeep is saying, in the third challenge, it is said that we have to create a device, or can we work and implement something which will encourage them about our entrepreneurial skills? I think that's what the question is. Is it mandatory for us to join with minimum 2 members? I think already answered. Sneha is same as Vaishnav Jadhav. How do we submit a proposal idea like PDF? Okay, this has again been answered by Akhilesh. Same question as Prathamesh Vankade is Smithal. How long will we get to present our ideas in case we get forwarded to further rounds? Is there a time limit? Good question. Will be 6 winners from each subject, or overall 6 winners from 3 subjects? Where can we find a document, ma'am, just presented about the value, impact, etc.? Of course, I've also shared the YouTube link of the Singapore Sustainathon, those of you who would like to have a look. And moving on to Darshan, who says, hello, sir. You said it's related to only solid waste management. Can I make my presentation based on construction waste, as it also contributes to carbon footprint?
I have answered that question, Brij, yeah.
Okay, great. But I guess you can also comment for everyone here, Pooja. And so I think with this, I'll just hand over back to the panel, and then I'll continue if we get a chance with some more questions.
Yeah. Let me quickly add few things. No, all types of waste handling, waste management challenges are welcome here. So waste management is a broad topic, so don't worry about it. Whatever waste you feel you want to focus on, feel free to do that. And regarding the different challenges, see, the winners will be common. So we are not keeping separate winners for different challenges. We'll take the best of the ideas. And as I mentioned, there are some extra special prizes. So there, some of these challenge level contributions will be recognized, but the winners will be common to all the 3 challenges. And there was one question on the time you get to present. So see, that is a very important point. Make your presentation submission, whatever you submission on before 20th you do, it is a final submission. Bear in mind that no further changes will be accepted in that, and that is in the basis of the you assume that the basis of the evaluation is only that submission. There is no other opportunity for you. Now coming to some future rounds, there might be presentations, but that is only for very limited set available. There also tweaking of the ideas or changing the ideas will not be allowed. It is only refinement of the presentations. So basically, your submission has to be a very serious affair. So ensure that it is complete and of full quality. There will be no further opportunities for changing the ideas.
Right. Any other comments from Pooja, Tushar, or should I move on?
No, I think there is one question which I will like to point out about languages. So yes, you are encouraged to speak in English, but yes, if you need some assistance, you can still pick up Hindi or Marathi. But we'll prefer English as a communication language when you are presenting.
Okay. And Tushar, if you can repeat this answer in Hindi and Marathi as well.
Arre baap re. Okay.
Okay.
switching
Okay,
the
the
languages.
Hindi part I can do and you can do the Marathi. So,
Okay.
Angrezi mein, actually my Hindi is also a little sluggish these days, but अंग्रेजी में ज़्यादा प्रेफर्ड है, पर अगर आप हिंदी में प्रेजेंट करना चाहते हैं तो हिंदी में भी प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं और लिख सकते हैं, और हम आपको थोड़ा सपोर्ट देने की कोशिश करेंगे.
The primary medium is English. The competition is happening in English. But if somebody is so in writing, we will not entertain any non-English content. But in terms of speaking while you are presenting, etc., in the advanced rounds, if you have challenge in speaking in English, that will be accommodated.
Okay, so thank you, Jagdish.
Just one point I want to mention. Sorry for the interruption. That we will only accept one submission per team. So I see that many of you have applied to the same challenge. I mean, each member has applied to the same challenge with with putting the same team details. Do not do that. Only one person. There should be one representative who will submit the proposal and who has to apply for the challenge. Is that clear? And that does not mean that whosoever is submitting or who is the representative, they would get an extra added advantage. No. All of you would be treated the same. Just one representative has to apply and has to submit. That's it.
Yeah, there is no concept like a team leader. Yeah, it is all will be on equal footing, all the members of a team.
All right. So, should I move on with a few more questions? It is 10 o'clock, so it is time for us to end. So what I can do is I can read out all the questions which are remaining, and then we can sort of move into a wrapping thing and choose what we'll answer immediately and what remains. How does that sound, Pooja, Jagdish?
Bridge, while we are talking, I just glanced through the questions. I think we have addressed almost all the questions, but there are some specific challenges. Like Pragati Singh says that when I click on the submit button, it is showing that the enrollment is under progress. So I'm unable to access the details of the challenge. Okay, I think those kind of things, if you are facing similar type of challenges, I think the suggestion I will give is like, we will please write to pune.sustainathon@tcs.com and we'll try to address those challenges. If you have similar type of technical issues, etc., regarding enrollment or application or submission. So that should address some 3-4 questions, Bridge.
All right.
Other than that, I think we have covered most of the questions.
We've covered most of
yeah,
the
we
questions.
can go through that one more time and just see if you have missed anything.
One point that I would like to mention to everyone is that when you say that is 20th September presentation final, yes, and just remember that your first presentation is also your final presentation. That is, you cannot upload your presentation again even if you submit on 15th. That does not mean that in the next 5 days till 20th you will be allowed to upload it again. So be very sure that yes, this is your final presentation. Do not hurry. You have ample amount of time to create your idea and just refine the content. Okay, and only then submit when you're 100% sure that yes, this is going to be your final presentation.
Yes, that's very good advice, Pooja. Anybody else from the panel, if you see any question which stands out, which is unique, which needs
I think
answer?
one point is, as it if you are not if you are, but when you are working as a team, you don't have to submit. Not every team member has to submit the same presentation. Okay, one person from the team can submit the presentation. Regarding 20th September is the final. Yes, that Tcs, that has been answered now.
Yeah, Tushar, let me repeat one thing. See, basically, I'll tell you what is expected. You register as an individual, then you apply for a challenge and include your team members in this along with you, and then apply for the challenge. And once you have applied for a given challenge, then people who are there in that team cannot apply for the same challenge again. You are free to apply for the other challenges along with a different team. But for one challenge, that name can't appear again. No name can appear again in a given challenge. Be very clear about it. Yeah, Tushar.
Yeah. Thank you, Jagdish.
All right, so I think we can wrap it up. Let's look at the remaining questions. Of course, there are lots of small questions coming up, and if we can put it on our website. So folks, if you feel your question has not been answered here and you can listen to the recording also, then do write to pune.sustainathon@tcs.com, where we will have these questions addressed. I think it's a wrap from our side right now because I can see the pattern is repeating. Pooja, Jagdish, Tushar, any final words before we close this?
No, I think say all the best and give your best ideas to make the city very clean and make life sustainable for everyone.
Yes, that's a great message. Thanks, Tushar. Pooja, you were saying something?
Yes, I think Tushar has ended on a very good note that yes, good luck. And also, please write to Pune.Sustainathon. The email ID is visible on our screen. And please do not forget to go through the FAQ document. So all your questions that are being asked over here are all mentioned in the FAQ document. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. It was wonderful interacting with all of you and getting all these questions. And I'm really excited about what we're going to hear from you and what holds next for a cleaner Pune and a cleaner India. So thank you all for joining in. And with this, we'll wrap up this session. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all and wish you all the best. Look forward to very interesting submissions from your side. Thank you.